Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Retirement Railroad 2.0. And as I mentioned, I was in sunny and warm Florida last week. I left on Wednesday morning, got back Monday night, and had a great time at the Koi Show. Worked my butt off, but I had a great time. And so anyway, as you can tell, I'm all bundled up because I got back here to Oklahoma City and it's been 80 degrees. It's been gorgeous here. Let me get my other hat. And today it's only in the 60s, but all week it's been, like I said, it's been in the 80s and sunny and gorgeous. It's nice or better than Florida. Hey, Dwight, take this off. Oh, putting on a sweat, man. But not to worry. I didn't mean to mislead anybody. The Retirement Railroad is, in fact, freezing. And I'll explain that in a little bit. And, of course, we are coming to you live. All right. It wouldn't be Friday Live without my theme song, right? And, of course, I have C and E.I. John joining me here this morning. Hey, good morning, John. No sound, John. I don't know what you did, but there is no sound.
I muted you.
Our Malcolm, yeah, you muted me. You muted yourself,
Well, okay.
not me. Our own Malcolm in the Middle is not going to be here today. Jason, the train freak, is down in Hot Springs working on a client's layout. But in honor of Jason, we will play his.
And I'm riding on the cotton belt railroad line in the pigeon rolling rhythm and noise.
All right.
I miss Jason in the Middle.
So, yeah. Okay, let's run through our roll call. Of course, Lynn McCurdy and the HDMMRC was first and gets the proverbial cookie, followed by JB, Mr. John Bannicky, up there, and I believe Indiana, the Hoosier State. Now, I lived in the Midwest most of my life, and grew up in the Chicagoland area. And heck, I could look out my office window when I lived in Danville, Illinois, and look over to Hoosier land. I was that close to the border. And today, nobody's going to ever tell me what an actual Hoosier is other than somebody from Indiana. Right?
Yes, and I'm one. I'm from Terre Haute.
Yeah, and that's right, you're one.
Yeah.
So what the heck's a Hoosier?
Somebody from Indiana.
Oh, we're going to call you a hoser.
Well.
Anyway, going down the list, we got one of my good buddies, Mystic John, up there in Connecticut, formerly of Nolens. And so, John's just happy I'm not playing my old theme song all the time. So, following John, we got Mr. Kyle Stevens is joining us as well. And rolling down through here, I know I saw some more people. I got to just roll down here some more. And Mr. Dwight Curley, of course, who I just said hi to from the great state of Illinois. It's not my native state because I was actually born out, but I grew up in Illinois and used to go pheasant hunting not too far away from where Dwight is. So, and then we got from across the pond, we got hot dog pilot Andy joining us this morning, and we'll come back to Andy and the United Kingdom or England. And Ray Ron is joining us from San Antonio, my wife's hometown. Ray Burleson's joining us as well. So, and JB says, "Hoosier, not hoser." Until somebody can tell me what a hoosier is, it's hoser. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. All in good graces. Now let's go back to Andy a little bit. Hot dog pilot Andy, and of course he's from England or the UK or Great Britain. All right, take your pick. All right. Anyway, I found out this week that my granddaughter over in England, and it's a long story. But anyway, Millie, I was informed that she watches all my videos. And she's 17 years old. She'll be 18 later this year, and in November, early November. And I just want to make sure she knows that I remember and I keep track of her. Unfortunately, she won't give her dad or I her Facebook information, so because she's too cool to allow us to follow her. So, or any of that, maybe TikTok or what, Instagram or I don't know, whatever it is the kids are using these days. So, but I did want Millie to know that I found out. But now I'm going to have to watch what I say and stuff. But it's not like she hadn't heard me boast before. I'm going to call it boasting. Anyway, and so anyway, that's pretty cool that she watches and tunes in. And we have Mr. Rick Bailey out there from, I believe it's Pennsylvania, somewhere in the Philadelphia area, if I'm not mistaken. And join us, or AKA the Tree. Lynn used to block his older brother. She's always afraid of what he's going to say. Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time one of my kids or somebody didn't block me for something I'd say. So anyway, just outside Philly. I thought so, Rick. I know that because I got your address. Sent you a couple things. But mine, I've slept since I mailed those things, Rick, and who knows? At John's and my age, we forget stuff.
Oh yeah, constantly.
All right. Everybody's probably wondering why the retirement railroad is freezing. Okay, and it's not me; it's the railroad that's freezing. I'm here in a nice T-shirt today, and we're going to change this around. One of the things I forgot to mention about the train show I went to a few weeks back is I picked up this T-shirt. And hopefully you see it's, of course, it's a Burlington route, yay, CB&Q T-shirt. So that's one of my mail call items. I'm just late showing it. We're going to put it back here. And yesterday I was out and about. By the way, I'm still playing Oklahoma Hillbilly with no upper teeth. And so, with my lisp and everything. So, but, all right. I did get my lower bridge. So I was missing 16 upper teeth still in, and one lower tooth. but I got my bridge, so my lowers are good to go. But that doesn't do me much good without my uppers. So next week, the wax with teeth is supposed to be in to do the final fitting, and then it's 2 or 3 weeks after that. So within the next month, of course, I've been saying that for 2 months, I should have a full set of teeth. And it's funny because, damn, it's 60. I'm 66 now. I guess it was 62. Whenever it was, no, 60. At 60 years, January of my, a couple weeks after my 60th birthday in January, I quit smoking. And I mean, it was boom, 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 one tooth after another. Fillings coming out, crowns coming off, teeth cracking. And finally, I said, enough's enough. The uppers were so bad, just yank them all out. And which is not. That's a scam. Go to voicemail. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, I'm still trying to read stuff as I'm going, but I get too busy talking. Hertfordshire. Annie's from Hertfordshire, England. Okay. Well, Annie, my granddaughter's up by Manchester. I've been up by Manchester. I've been up in the Yorkshire Dales. I've been over to Nottingham, and I've driven up the equivalent of our interstate system. I've driven up, past Oxford, and so I've been by Oxford. And then I was in Peterborough, which is over by Cambridge. I just haven't been to Wales or the south of England or Scotland. So, but one of these days I'll get back.
And I
try to take care of myself, Lynn.
I do have an answer for you what a Hoosier is.
Okay, what's a Hoosier, John?
Okay, there was once a contractor named Hoosier who employed on the Louisville and Portland Canal who preferred to hire laborers from Indiana. They were called Hoosiers Men, and eventually all the Indians were called Hoosiers. A theory attributed to Governor Joseph Wright, who diverged Hoosier from the Indian word for corn, which is Hoosa, Hoosa, Indiana flatboat men taking corn or maize to New Orleans came to be known as Hoosier men or Hoosiers. Unfortunately for the theory, a search in the Indian vocabulary by careful students of linguistics failed to make the relevant connection to the word for corn. So still no, and that's from the state of Indiana. So if Indiana doesn't know exactly, then that's the best.
They adopted as yeah, they adopted as anyway. That's
yeah. So it's Hoosiers Men is probably the.
It's who's your daddy?
Yeah.
So.
That's the best I can come up with.
Yeah, Len, I know that it's out of sync, and I don't know how to fix it. So, anyway, it is what it is. Just roll with the flow. And JB was talking about my ringtone for my phone, I guess. Well, I had an Uga horn that I put on my car, my 1960 Oldsmobile that I had in high school. And then when that crapped out, my 1973 Dodge Dart. So everybody in town knew I was coming when I'd honk that damn horn.
Yes, Dwight, we are all out of whack.
Yeah, it's not just the sound and video. So, well, yeah, my lips and stuff aren't moving because I don't have any teeth. Hot shots. Now it's they were hot shot musicians, according to Lynn.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. Sure, there's a lot of different.
So there's all different kinds of definitions, and I already knew that there were multiple. But anytime there's a multiple of something that's nowhere near the same, right? That just means people are making shit up.
Well, and
Sorry, Millie.
I look back to everybody knows who Steve Martin is. I'm sure all us older people do. Maybe not over across the pond,
Absolutely.
but he once called
King Tut.
He once called Terre Haute, Indiana, the most nowhere place in America. And I would kind of agree with that. So
Yeah.
I remember my wife and I went up there after we got married to see some of my relatives. And there were 4 movie theaters in Terre Haute. They were all playing the same thing, which was out like 6 months before in Florida. So...
Yep. So, and then just north and a little bit west across the state line is Danville, Illinois, which is famous for a couple of brothers and the younger brother's friend. And I'm talking about Dick and Jerry Van Dyke. And Jerry's Van Dyke, Jerry's good friend, Gene Hackman. They all went to school together in Danville. And then you had Donald O'Connor, song and dance guy, comedian, made famous from the TV, not TV, but the movie serials, Francis the Talking Mule. And then you had, let's see, there's an astronaut. I mean, it was crazy that the number of famous people per population that came out of Danville. So, and there's Penny's Pit Stop. We should just call you Penelope Pit Stop. There, Penny.
Then of
I'm
course,
trying to keep up with the chat as well. You know, we're talking about everything except model railroading. So to get us back on track, this is, as I like to say, the nickname of this show is also Fallen Flag Fridays, because the Burlington route is a fallen flag. It became part of the Burlington Northern merger, which became part of the BNSF. And then you have the C&EI that John models that was absorbed in the multiple, hierarchy of railroads as well. And of course, Jason and Cotton Belt, part of Southern Pacific, which is now part of the UP. So, all right. John, what did you do this week? Or get?
Well, probably last week. This week I didn't do much of anything. I'm in one of those moods. But last week, for a mail call that you didn't have because you weren't there, I did have a foam cutter come in, a Proxon. I've seen this advertised on several different websites that people are using for model railroading, and it wasn't too bad a price. I think it was $124. But I'd watched Marklund of Sweden use.
Now is that?
Go ahead.
Is that hot? Is that a hot wire or a vibration?
It's hot wire.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a hot wire. It's not a vibration.
Correct. Yeah. And Jason Jensen has done a lot with using foam, cutting it and making concrete retaining walls and concrete abutments and things like that. And Markland of Sweden does a lot with foam on his railroad. So, I had all these extra pieces of foam that I wanted to do something with. So I decided, well, I've been wanting one of these for a while, and I went ahead and got it. And my first attempt at doing anything, of course, it's like anything else. You got to get used to it first. You got to get your skill down of how fast you push the foam through the cutter where you don't break the wire and you're getting a nice smooth cut. And so I did do a concrete loading dock for my one large industrial building that I've got up on the layout already. And I'm back to my computer, so I can't move around and show pictures. But it turned out pretty good. I haven't weathered it yet, but I'm real happy with the way it turned out. And I know I plan on along this entire back wall here is going to be flat relief structures for industrial site, and I'm going to want to have them elevated up enough where they would be able to load straight from the building into box cars. So I'm going to have to use the hot wire cutter to get the correct thickness so I can have it all the way across the back. So
Okay.
it's worth it. Also, anytime you need to, raise up a building just a small amount, you can do some pretty thin cuts with it. About the only thing bad I would say about the cutter itself is the fence here that comes with it. What? Get the right finger doing there. This fence here is a little floppy. You actually have to put your hand on the other end of it to hold it down, or as you're pushing the foam through there, it will go off canter. Now, I've watched a lot of videos on this particular machine also, and a lot of guys make, you can get kits that make a taller, more substantial gate for like, you're trying to rip down a wider piece of foam, so you need to turn it up on its edge and run it through. Then you have that problem of tipping back and forth. But I've seen kits you can buy for that. Also, I watched one last night where the guy actually made a taller back out of foam. That seemed to work just fine for him.
You
So,
should, John, you should be able to make like a front and rear runner, and then screw a 1x3 or whatever from one to the other, and that would just slide along for your thickness, and then clamp it.
well, yes, and there were several that I watched last night that used aftermarket pieces for making a slide track that would hold it plumb to whatever you're doing. So there's multiple different things, but some of the kits you can get, you can do all kinds of shapes with them, and they turn out almost perfect. I mean, it's really a neat item. What they were originally come out for was gaming, for military gaming, for making things with it, and a lot of their techniques that they use can be transferred over to model railroading. So it's neat. I plan to
Yep.
use it a lot.
Before we get too far along, it is important to note one of our own had a birthday this week. It was JD's birthday yesterday, I believe. So, for a No Tooth song to JD. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear JD. Happy birthday to you. All right.
Yes.
I know. Don't quit my day job. I'm retired.
And the only thing else I got last week was I picked up 7 more pieces of Pico Flex Track, which I hope to finish the last main curve that I have on the current structure. And then all I will lack was making the spline to connect the 2 ends.
I've still been working on this mess, all my wiring and so forth, and I still have 2 more harnesses that go up underneath there. And once I get those all done and all these fascia switches, which are here. All right, you see those wires up here? Those are all switches. And so that I can progress with that and get those switches actually mounted, I did get some Rust-Oleum semi-gloss black, which is semi-gloss or satin is what I used for the fascia. And so I should get that painted this week and get all those switches mounted. All but 3 are wired. So,
yes, JB, that is a rat's nest up there.
yeah, it is. But I've got all these. Let's go back to that camera. Hang on a second. Okay. A lot of what you're seeing is LED wires that tuck up in between the ties to indicate whether a switch is thrown one way or another way. And I can't actually put them up in there until after I get the track ballasted. And I can't ballast the track till I get it running and run some engines and rolling stock across it, make sure everything's copacetic. So, it's just a tad bit of a project, to say the least. And Hot Dog Andy's looking for a Hot Dog Pilot Andy's looking for a kit. All right, Jay. That's right. You're 65 or 62? I think 65. I think he's 1 year younger than I am. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, and I'll be 64 this October, so getting up there.
Yeah, you're a youngster.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of tables there, John. John is leaving to set up their train show up there. And where's the show at, John? I know it's northern Indiana somewhere. Fort Wayne, South Bend, Valparaiso, somewhere up one of those. I'm sure. Yeah. I was pretty sure you were just 1 year behind me, JD. So, and let's see if JB will tell us where it's at. 3/4 of a century. They'll be 75 in May. Wow. Cool. He's an old fart. Huh? Just south of Elkhart. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we could say Elkhart. Or near Elkhart. I like, people always advertise their train shows and stuff in Facebook, and they never say where it's at. They assume people know.
Mhm.
I'll bet you 9 out of 10 train shows, if not total events, that people post on Facebook, you don't know where it's at.
Mhm.
Because they don't tell you. But
Or
that's one of my pet peeves. That's my rant of the day.
yeah.
So did you get anything else, John?
No, that was about it. Other than trying to burn my tractor up, I'm at got to buy a new
Well,
tractor tire.
why
Sort
don't
of got.
you, I know it's not mile railroading, but why don't you explain what brain fart when you're
Well, it really wasn't a
tractors?
brain fart, but I was out.
That's what I clarified. I clarified.
Yeah, I was out. I've been out clearing my woods in the north end of my property. And as I take the brush out, I pile it up into a big pile. And then every once in a while, I'll burn the pile. Well, I take my tractor and push the brush around as it's burning to make it burn better. So I got good fire started and getting ready to push up some stuff, and my tractor locks into forward gear. So here I am pushing brush into flames, and I can't reverse out of it. I hit the reverse hard, and it won't go in reverse. So I shut the tractor off real quick, and of course, at least I had my Kubota side by side there. I jump on it, pull over there, hook a chain up to the tractor, and yank it out of the fire. Well, the only thing I lost was the left front tire it had flames on it when I drug it out. And it was kind of flat. And I'm sure it exploded, but I just didn't hear it because I had ear muffs on. And yeah, now I need to buy a new front tire. I did figure out, or I hope I figured out, why it locked into forward gear. It's because there's a Zert fitting for grease underneath the floor mat that you would never know is there unless you had the floor mat off. And of course, I'd never had it off, and the tractor's 2 years old, and it hadn't been greased in 2 years. All the other fittings you can see except that one. So hopefully, I got to buy a new front tire and get that put on, and then hopefully grease up that rocker piece that the pedals are attached to, because it's a hydrostat, so it's either forward or reverse. No actual gears, so hopefully it jammed up. Yeah, JB, yeah, it was quite an excitement. Yeah, uh, it's not fun looking at your nice piece of equipment that it's all paid for and everything, and it's setting in flames. No, I didn't get a video of it, Lynn. I got pictures, but not video. I was more worried about getting it out of the flames than I was trying to take a video of it, but it was quite exciting. I'm glad I wasn't in the highest part of the flames where I was pushing in at. And it's not like I haven't done this before. I've done a lot of burning in the last year and a half, and I've never had a problem other than getting a few hairs singed because I was going in too far. But
You've driven your tractor into the flames before, huh?
Yeah, and then come right back out. Not long enough to do any damage, but to get the brush into the hottest part of the fire, so it'll burn the debris.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I didn't get hurt other than my pride, and my tractor wasn't destroyed. Figure $100 tire is still better than a $18,000 piece of equipment burning up. So yeah, no, yeah, I wish I would have had a tank. That I would have just drove right through the fire with it. Um, but yeah, that was my excitement. I think I did that Monday, and after that, I was kind of depressed the rest of the week. Plus, I'm still getting over a bad cold and got a bad cough. So, but yeah, that was some excitement. Yeah.
Well,
Think
while
that's
I was in, go ahead, John. I thought you were
No,
done.
that's okay. That's so.
While I was in hot, sunny Florida, and for those that came in late, I returned here to Oklahoma City, and it was 85 degrees, sunny. It's been like that all week. A little cooler today. It's at 60, but it's by no means freezing. Now, that said, I didn't mean to mislead. Well, I did mislead everybody. But the Retirement Railroad 2.0 is a tad freezing, and we'll take a look as to why. There we go. All right. While I was gone, can y'all see what that is?
Oh yeah.
I got 36 inches of TT Train Group's icing platforms.
Very nice.
And yeah, and they make it in 18 or 36 inches, and you can buy 6-inch segments as well. And I saw this on eBay for It was $37.99 landed, fully landed. That's shipping, everything. And heck, the kit itself normally runs $49. So I snatched that up, and from the original track plan, I added a track for an icing platform, and that's where that boxcar currently is. I'll back that away.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go to this camera, and I go to this camera, and what the heck? Oh, it's zoomed in, that's why. And I back that off. All right, you can see where the box is down there towards the end. Take the box out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And this line that comes off across the diamond here and over is where the icing platform is going to go between the track and the backdrop. So now I got just another project to do. Icing platform, but that'll be somewhere down the line. But that's why the Retirement Railroad 2.0 is freezing, because it now has an icing platform. Now that's not prototypical, but then again, it's proto-representative, not prototypical.
And at least you know now how to take care of light bleed on your icing platform.
Well, there won't be any light bleed on the icing platform, John, because there's no drop down.
Ah, okay.
If you on the original Retirement Railroad down in Florida, my icing platform had two sides spanned. It was part of it was on the drop down section, part of it was on the solid section. So there was a gap, and there was light bleed from the lights underneath the roof of the platform. And John helped me solve that problem. Don't have that problem with 2.0.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, Lynn, you know this live stream used to be he and I. It was his Friday live stream while he was out of work due to COVID, and when he went back to work, I carried on. So, you know, a little bit of him was rubbed off on me, and perhaps a little bit of me is rubbed off on him. But he does a much better job at it, I will admit. You know, if you go back and look at some of his older videos, he was not comfortable in front of the camera. And then you watch him now, I mean, he's pretty damn good in front of a camera now. I gotta admit, he does a hell of a job. And yeah, he does he builds suspense. Okay, he builds anticipation, and it's just fun to watch.
Well, if you're talking about building time, yeah, it takes them an hour and a half to unpack a box. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, that or the wiring or or the hem hawing, getting to an explanation, and you know, there's all the above, John. All the above. So
yeah.
Let me switch this back. There we go. All right. So anyway, I don't think I got anything new because, you know. Go ahead.
Were you able to do anything with the pictures I sent you? Or was it too late?
No. John, we sat there and talked the entire time.
Oh, I thought you were multitasking. Okay, for next week, I'll make sure you get them earlier now that when I lost my computer, I also lost Steve's email address.
Oh.
So
Did you email him?
Yes, I emailed him.
Here I was looking for him in a message. No, hang on.
No, you said you needed them emails.
I do, but I don't. All right, hang on. I can get these.
There are some pictures of what I'm doing, a little bit of scenery, even though I don't have track work done. You know.
I got him, John. I got him. Hang on. Hang on, John. Okay.
There's looking at my start of my industrial area and my beautiful tanks there that are sitting ready to be loaded up onto some flat cars. Underneath them, I did it's a 1/4-inch foam that I made to look like concrete. It's not the best job, but and back there in the back on this one is the a concrete loading dock that I have that was made with my hot wire cutter, where I had to, that's 1-inch foam there, but I had to get it down to the height of the building so you could go out onto the loading area with a forklift or something like that. Cars will come in there on the top side right in front of that blue and CNEI box car. That track goes all the way up there. They can also load on the front track of it, and down to the left or to the right on this photo, there's still loading dock doors that open out right onto the track. The loading platform I haven't weathered yet or done anything. That's just the pink foam with some of the white chalk paint. Um, what color is this? Oyster that I painted that with. And then it's going to be weathered like the concrete slabs in between the tracks there. And
Your tank
or
tie downs. Your tank tie downs, are those the metal wire I told you about?
no, though that's actually just some string that I put on there.
Oh, okay.
I need to redo that. And this is not finished by any stretch of the imagination. That's just something I just set up there. But it's fun to at least
Looks
be able
good,
to
John.
start doing some landscaping. Of course, I still have to ballast
It
the
beats
track.
plywood and pink foam.
Yeah, yeah. I picked up a can of a reddish brown to paint the foam with. Wasn't real happy with my color selection, but you know when you buy the mismatched paints, you don't have much of a choice with that. But price is right. Um, that
Yeah.
building there is actually a double front. On the back of it, it's just some of the foam board. So I wanted to make the
Yeah,
building longer.
that's part of the packing plant, isn't it?
Correct. Yes, it is. Yeah, you can sort
Yeah,
of see where
packing
the
plant.
upper ramp door would have been there on
Right.
the left-hand side of the building. And you know,
Yeah.
there's one thing I'll mention with this. If you see the brownish medallions on the sides of the building, a lot of people don't know what those are actually for, and they're actually plates that have rods that connect to the other side of the building. It's something they needed when they were building these brick buildings taller, that to stabilize the walls. A lot of people think they're just decorative, and they're actually not. They would have had a rod that went to the other side and attached to another medallion on the other side of it. Um, just
Right. Well, and the medallion actually, it's like a giant clamp. It's clamping the two
walls together.
all together,
Yeah,
and the medallions hold, instead of just one point, it spreads it out to a bigger area for
correct.
the
Yeah.
clamp.
But
So,
a lot of people don't realize that. They think they're just decorative. They can be made decorative. I've seen everything like stars being made into the medallion for it. It looked decorative. But it's a part of any brick building. I think over 3 stories they had to start putting those on. I could be wrong on that, but they are an integral part of the actual building structure itself. So I'd always planned for this building to be on the back of the layout. There is a track that runs down behind it, so I can have some hidden storage there if I want. Eventually, I'm gonna put a mirror
oh,
up on the wall so you can see down in there, so you don't run the train into the wall. Um, but that's kind of an idea. I'll probably have some building flats that do extend beyond the end of that building, where you can't see them other than getting at an angle to look back behind there. But um, as Steve knows, with all my roundhouse pieces, of course, I only need 2 ends off of my 18 stalls. So I've got 10 or 12 of those other roundhouse ends that I plan on using. I'll you know, cut them up and make some different shapes with them. But I think they'll make good backdrop buildings. and I've already paid
Yeah,
for them. So
if
you know,
anybody wants to know what he's talking about, if you look at my videos building Aurora, some of the background flats are made from those roundhouse end pieces. Put together, cut in half. I do all kinds of different things with them, with the extra ones I had. And that's what John's talking about doing with his.
Yes, because when I bought my roundhouse kits, I couldn't find any of the older generation like Steve and I both have. I couldn't find any of the add-on kits for them. All I could find was complete roundhouse.
They never, yeah, they never made add-on kits for it.
Oh, they did. Okay,
They only made add-on kits.
for
They
the
only
more
made
modern.
add-on kits for the newer, for the more modern one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got all those end pieces. Might as well use them for something.
Yep.
Have a good day, John.
Absolutely. All right, JB. Take care. We're going to get wrapping this thing up here pretty soon anyway.
Yeah. I've
But,
got.
somebody had asked me, I think 2 weeks ago, when I thought I'm going to actually have trains running. And I think I said April 1st or something like that. And that will be I hope I do, but I'm not sure. The more I get into this wiring, the longer I think it's going to take me to finish it.
Well, I have had a train running on my layout, but it's just been DC. I don't have my DCC system set up. I have checked all the tracks. They all run well. Only derailment I had was from a coupler that I hadn't adjusted yet. So I'm real happy with that. On my 1.0 railroad layout, I had a section of the large sweeping curve at one end that constantly would derail, and no matter how hard I tried to get the track back in alignment, it just wouldn't do it. So I made extra sure that when I laid the curves this time that they were precise and engage, and haven't had that problem yet. Cross my fingers. So and I did switch over to the Pico track though, because it does.
Michael, go ahead, finish up.
I find that the Pico Flex track is much easier to shape than the Atlas Flex track is. It holds its curve better. So you have to put less pressure on it to make your curves, and you don't run the risk of getting it out of gauge. So real happy with that.
Michael McCarville has joined us. And if anybody saw Michael's most recent video, he's working on a, for lack of a better term, a modular type of kit, multiple kits that can be done in different ways, et cetera, et cetera. It's pretty cool. But Michael, I got to call you out on something, buddy. That Walthers kit you were talking about, I think it's this one, isn't a Walthers kit. All right, it's a TG Train Group. It doesn't matter. Your point is still valid. That there's certain kits. As an example, you know, if we go back to John's picture, right here, you know, I recognize this building because it's the Walthers packing plant. All right, now he's taken two pieces of it and put them together. But yeah, you know, you can walk into somebody's layout and say, "Oh, I know that kit, and I know that kit, and I know that kit." That's why it's so much fun to extremely bash them or do some scratch building and stuff, or get some not as popular kits that nobody sees, or you build them the kit in such a way that they don't they're all different. All right, and that's what Michael's
Hmm.
working on. So it's pretty
Well,
cool.
and
Cool.
this building here, Steve, it was not a kit. I bought it. It was a pre-made building that I bought at a train
Okay.
show. So of course,
Uh huh.
getting it apart was almost as big a task as doing my conversions to it. Whatever glue they used on it, I couldn't use any kind of glue releaser that would really take care of it, and I did do some
You
damage
know
to
what
it.
works well?
What's that?
You know what works well?
What?
Um, a very sharp X-Acto knife,
Yeah,
or a Dremel, or
well,
a
yes,
razor saw.
but the glue on the corners, they put extra glue on it, and it was just so melded together that it was hard to actually separate them. I did
Well,
damage it in a couple areas where,
that's actually
you
a
know,
good. That's actually a good thing if you think about it.
yeah,
Not good for you, but good for it
yeah.
having structural integrity.
So I've got a few more of the pre-made buildings that I'll probably do that too. Also, I've got the power.
All right, Michael's calling me out on it now. All right, I stand corrected, Michael. Bumper day's coming. Bumper day's coming. 2 weeks away.
But it turned out well. I liked it. I spent a lot of time doing the brick work on it. Painting individual bricks, different brick colors. I know you can't tell it in the picture, but if you're there looking at it
You can
live,
do it.
you can see all the different colors of bricks I used on it.
You
Yeah,
can see the different colors. If you look
yeah,
at
there you can. Yeah.
it.
So yeah, that took quite some time. I've also done that to all my roundhouse building kits that I haven't started putting together yet. That's coming up here soon. I'm gonna actually mount the turntable so I can start setting the roundhouse correctly. Um,
Right. You know, I used to go in and do individual bricks like that, and now what I have a tend to do is multiples together. It's less tedious and still gives you the desired effect once you go back and weather some.
well, yes, and I've also used the method of using a sponge to
Yep.
sponge on colors. That works also. Um, it's it's not optimal, but I've actually sponged on colors first, and then went back and painted some individual bricks. Probably can't see that too well, no light under there, but that's something I did there. And of course,
Put
when
that
you're
back up. Put that back up.
so
Yeah, you can't
that
see it because
yeah, it's
it's
too
not
blurry.
focusing.
Yeah. Um, but anyway, that was both a sponge on and a painting individual bricks. Of course, that's a small structure, so it wasn't that hard. When you're doing these big buildings, it takes quite a lot of time and a lot of magnifying glasses. So, but it
So Lynn
turns out.
wanted to know if I had a. Go ahead.
No, I said it turns out nice. It's very time consuming, but when you're
Yep.
retired and you don't have a lot to do, it's okay.
Yeah, Lynn wanted to know if I have an HOA meeting to attend. No, Lynn, I do not. All right. Now, when there's an issue in my neighborhood, I just go ahead and call the police and stuff. I don't have to file a complaint with the HOA. So, and the difference here is the police in Oklahoma City will actually respond and do something about it, unlike Hillsborough County, Florida. Trying to get them to address neighborhood type legal issues is, anyway, don't even get me started. So anyway, with that, we're at our 1 hour, John.
Very
So
good.
time flies when we're having fun.
Yes.
And I want to thank everybody for joining us here at Friday Live and Mail Call, or Fallen Flag Friday, whatever you want to call it.
Very
And,
good.
So for and for myself in beautiful and of course for Jason over there in Arkansas and Cotton Belt land, and who I think said he's going to join us next week or the week after.
Good.
With that, hey everybody, have a great weekend.
Take care,
Well,
everybody.
take care.
And don't burn your tractors up.